Hello everyone. In this video I am going to talk about installation of a virtual machine. In this case I have a Mac OS. So this Mac OS Catalina is going to act as a host for execution of the other operating system which I am going to install. To manage with the existing operating system and use another operating system, that is Windows operating system, I will be using the virtualization software, in this case VirtualBox. For this I will open the web browser and will open the website www.virtualbox.org. On the home page you will find the latest version of the VirtualBox available, but if you want you can go to the downloads section and this will also land you to the downloads page. From the downloads page you can download the VirtualBox executable file for different operating systems. For example, if you have a Windows laptop you can download it from here, that is Windows hosts. In my case I have a Mac OS, so I will be downloading this OS X hosts version of the VirtualBox. Click on this to download it. It will take a little time, but I have already downloaded, so I will stop it. Now after downloading the VirtualBox installation package, you can go and download this VirtualBox extension pack. This extension pack is going to add extra abilities to the virtual operating system or virtual machine that you will install. So it will help us access the USB, the network features and other sharing features. In order to download the extension pack, click on all supported platforms. It is the same file which will work for all the versions of the VirtualBox, means for Windows, Mac OS, Linux or other distributions. And since I have already downloaded, so I will stop it. After downloading, you can go to the downloads folder and from there you can see VirtualBox installation package. Double click to install. After the installation is successful, you can click on close. In order to save the space, I will not keep the unnecessary files, so I will click on move to bin. After installing VirtualBox, you can launch it to open the welcome screen of VirtualBox. If you have some operating systems or virtual machines installed already, they will appear on the left hand side. Since you don't have any, so you can click on new to create a new virtual machine. Now it asks for the name. You can provide the name you want. I have written Windows 10. Now second thing you should notice is the machine folder. This is the location where you are going to keep the folder or the virtual hard disk. So for this purpose I will be going to the root folder and from there I will go to the users and then create a new folder named virtual machines. I will click on create to create the folder and select open. After you have specified the folder, you can select the type of operating system. However, in this case it is appropriate one, but in case you are trying to install other operating systems, you can select the different variants accordingly. Similarly, in the version of the operating system, it is 64-bit that I want to install. Now click on continue. On this page you are going to decide the amount of RAM to be utilized by the client operating system or the virtual machine. I have 8 GB of RAM available with me, so I will allocate 4 GB of RAM for running the Windows 10 virtual machine. Because for Windows 10, 4 GB RAM is the least requirement for running the things smoothly. You should choose the amount of RAM that you want to allocate very wisely, because they should not make your machine behave in a laggish manner. Now click on continue. In this page we allocate some memory which will be dedicatedly used by the virtual machine as its own hard disk. So all the files that you create or all the stuff that you keep in the virtual machine or the virtual operating system will reside in the virtual hard disk. In case you have any existing one, you can select the other option, or if you don't want to add a virtual hard disk, you can select the other option. For now, we will create a virtual hard disk. So keep it selected and click on Create. Now you can select the type of virtual hard disk that you want to create, but I will go with the default one. Click on Continue, and now from here you decide the type or the way in which the hard disk will be managed. I will go for fixed size so that it occupies only the size that I have allocated. In case of dynamically allocated size, what happens is, as you keep on adding the files to the virtual machine, depending upon the requirement, it expands, that is, increases its size. But when you delete the files, it does not shrink automatically. So this becomes a tedious process, so I don't want that to happen. So click on Continue, and now you can allocate the amount of hard disk memory you want to allocate. In this case, it is taking 50 GB at its own, which is quite sufficient, and moreover in my laptop I don't have so much of memory to allocate to the virtual machine, so I will go for 50 GB only. Now click on Create. Now it takes some time to create the virtual hard disk. Now as you can see, the basic setup for the new machine or the virtual machine has been done. If you want, you can change some of the settings like video memory, or if you want to increase or decrease the hard disk size, you can do from here. Let's go to the settings and see some of them. The basic settings, the name of the operating system, type and version. Then in the advanced settings, you can change the folder where you are going to keep the things. Shared clipboard. This is important. If you want to copy the things from the host operating system and you want to paste it in the virtual machine, you should have it enabled. So I will keep it bidirectional so that I can copy the things from the host and paste it in the virtual machine, or I can copy from the virtual machine and paste it in the host machine area. So bidirectional. Drag and drop means if you want to drag the things for copying or moving from one operating system to the other, you can keep it again activated. Now go to the system. Here you can change the boot order. Suppose I want to have the hard disk to be the first device to be booted from, so I will keep it on the top. Then if you want to increase or decrease the amount of RAM, you can do from here. From the processor, I will increase the number of CPU. I will make it 2. I don't want to go beyond that because that will have a bad effect on the host operating system execution. If you want, you can have some of the extended features like virtualization technology and hardware acceleration features enabled. I don't need them for now, so I will leave it as it is. In the acceleration, if you want, you can have some of the hardware virtualization activated. Go to the display, and from here you can select the video memory. It is 128, that is okay. Then graphics controller, if you want, you can have the other ones. If you don't understand, don't play with it much, you can have 3D acceleration enabled. Now if you want, you can have the full video memory allocated to this. Okay, now go to the remote display. If you want, you can make it a server. You can go for recording the things. Okay, now go to the storage, and from here you can add or remove the storage media in your virtual machine. If you go to the audio, you can enable or disable the audio features. When you have the audio feature enabled, you can have the media played from the virtual machine, and you'll be able to use the speakers and the microphone if you have both the things enabled, that is audio output for the speakers and audio input for the microphone. Next is the shared folders. This is important because sometimes we have some of the files which we open in the host operating system, and maybe sometimes we need to open them in the applications which are there in virtual machine. So in order to have the same copy of the file accessible to both the operating systems, we keep it in the shared folder. So we can add a shared folder here by clicking on plus, and we can decide the location of the folder and provide it a name, and we can make it read only, or we can make it auto mount so that it can automatically be launched as a drive. So for now I'm going to leave it. Next is user interface, and from here you can decide these icons whichever you want to have displayed in the virtual machine. Don't play much with it because everything is not necessarily required to be changed. Click on OK and your new settings that you made will be applied. Now, in order to install the operating system, you need the installation files. For that purpose, again you can open the browser and go to some website from where you can download it. Now, you can download the Windows 10 disk image ISO file. You can select the edition of the Windows that you want to download. So I will be downloading Windows 10. I can go for the download options, or I can simply confirm from here. Now you can choose the language that you want. Of course, I want the English language for now. Click on confirm. And you have the link for downloading the 32-bit variant or 64-bit variant. Whichever you want, you can click on that and your file will be downloaded. Since I have already downloaded, so I will not let it complete. So stop. Now we will see how to install the operating system. From the VirtualBox Manager window, select the machine that you have already set up and then click on Start. When you click on Start, it asks for where is the file which you want to boot from. So for now, since we do not have any, we'll click on Open the virtual disk file. In this case, I don't have any, so I will click on Add. And I'll go to the desktop, and from here, I will select the Windows 10 ISO file. Click on Open and click on Choose. Now you can start the installation. The things are being loaded and the Windows installation process has started. You can maximize it. You can choose the settings from here. So this is a normal installation procedure. If you have your product key with you, you can install it now, or you can simply click on I don't have product key and you can continue with the rest of the installation procedure. Now select the edition of the operating system that you want to use for your purpose and then click on Next. Accept the license terms. Again click on Next. If you are upgrading, you can click on Upgrade, otherwise we click on Custom. And from here, that 50 GB of hard disk that we had created for this virtual machine appears here. Now you can create a new partition by clicking on New, then Apply, click OK. Now the partition is created and you can click on Next to continue with the installation. This is going to take a lot of time and the things will happen automatically. The Windows will direct you with proper instructions. Follow it sincerely and get your Windows set up. Now after we have done the installation part, we will start Windows 10 again. Select the operating system, click on Start. As you can see, the operating system launches successfully, but it does not appear in full screen mode. So in order to make it scale to the full screen display, we'll go to the devices and click on Insert Guest Edition CD image. Now let's open the CD. And from here, we can find the VirtualBox Windows Editions. Double click on that to run. Then user account control dialog box appears, click on yes. Then next, and then install. We will make it trust. And finally, you can click on finish to reboot the operating system. As you can see, it has automatically moved to the full screen mode. So we'll open the downloads folder, and from there we'll double click on the extension pack that we had downloaded. Click on install, accept the license agreement, confirm the password, and the installation is done. Now the webcam and other accessories which are available as a plug and play devices, they all will be accessible from the virtual machine as well. We can go to the properties and find the details about the system. So let's open the system properties, and you can see I have the two operating systems running simultaneously. One is the Mac operating system and the other is the Windows operating system. Thank you for watching.